Okay, so we're back today and we're talking about one of my favorite tools for productivity, Airtable. Now, Airtable is partially a spreadsheet, as it says, and partially a database. You can learn more about it by reading through all of its documents. What I like most about it is it has the simplicity of Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, but its API is extremely easy to use, and later on in the project I'm going to plug its API into Slack, which I also use quite heavily, so that way I can just add tasks into my Airtable, but also allows me to track most of the work that I'm going to do in Project Omego and getting it started. So sign up, you just go to the obvious sign up button. We're at airtable.com, sign up. You can enter in your various information. I'm signing up with my Domogo email account. There you have it, in case you wanted to send a bunch of emails. And I've already created an account, so I'm going to go back to login, or sign in, excuse me. And if you're wondering how this is automatically getting put in, I use LastPass for my password manager, and you can just keep your passwords nice and secure there. So just click sign in. And you have a bunch of bases that they start you off with. You can go to this section here, add a base, and they have all of these templates that are already set up for all sorts of different projects. That's one of the reasons why I love it. You can just go, if you don't, a lot of times we have this analysis paralysis where we decide we're going to set up a project, and then we think, we get lost in all the details about how we're going to set it up or how we're going to get started. And having some of these templates, they're almost never right for what you need. You're going to need to customize them, but they're a great starting point, and it'll give you over that hurdle of trying to figure out how you're going to lay out your various projects. I've already set one up, so I'm going to go back to our bases, this project tracker, and I've left the name here for now, so that way you can see, and I've started customizing it a bit for my needs, but I'm just going to change the name up here to Domogo, and I'm using purple for the project. Okay, so there's tons of videos on how to get started using Airtable, so I'm not going to dive too much into that. They have fantastic tutorials down here. You can even see these little just-in-time pop-ups that'll show you how to do different aspects, how to attach media, etc. But the main reason why I use Airtable instead of something like Google Sheets, because I do use Google Drive quite a bit, is because of its API. And we're just going to go very quickly so that way you can see the documentation on that. So I'm going to find the API somewhere here. Yeah, here we are, API documentation. And if you see, you already have the table the base that we just created. It's already set up and it has all the documentation here. I'm going to switch over to Node.js, and you just need to plug in your own IDs. Now, obviously, my ID is being shown here, so I'm going to have to do something to cover that up. But yeah, you can go through and start using their API straight away, and it's super easy to do all of your CRUD operations completely in Airtable. If you have no idea what that means, that's fine. You don't have to use the Airtable features for it to be an amazing tool. You have all of these different views that you can create, from like grid views. And one of the things I like is I'm going to break up my project into different opportunity types. It's a methodology I use when I'm creating when I'm doing projects. I like to make sure that whatever I plan on the project list, most of the time, there are some exceptions, have some element of design, marketing, or coding that's going to make me grow as an individual. So I'm going to make sure I plan in that regard. But what's great is as you begin to add different tasks to your to-do list, you can begin to filter, and you can choose what you want to filter by. Excuse me, I don't want to add it, I want to group, excuse me. So you can pick a field to group by, and I'm going to group by opportunity types. And you can see now we automatically get this lovely filtering by whichever opportunity types we enter in here. So you can always change what you group by. Maybe you want to group by start dates or project assets, etc. For me, it just makes most sense to group by opportunity type. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding all my tasks. I have a task page here where as I write in tasks, you can see this is remnants of the template that we started off with. And I can just add my task here. Maybe we'll call this something very creative, like, excuse me, like task 2. Now I'm just going to tab down. No, I'm not going to just tab down. I'm going to click here. And you can see as you double click, you also get these other views in case you prefer seeing this style of view instead of your typical spreadsheet view. And I'll just add task 3. And then you can see in other sheets, you can then begin to call this information out. So I have the tasks that I have set up here. So then I can assign different tasks. Say if it's to design to make a to-do list for Project Domago, I can add multiple tasks in here. And I can say, okay, and then I can click on these tasks to just bring those up, see who's it's assigned to. Anyways, Airtable is a brilliant tool. I've been using it for quite a long time, and we're going to use it for this project. That's about as far as we're going to go into this tutorial. It's not much of a tutorial, more of an introduction, but you'll see more and more of Airtable as we move along through the project.